Hello! Welcome to a ghost walkthrough of Disorientation. This was one of the very first missions I featured on the channel, and I already have a video of it as a Supreme Ghost run, but I wanted to do another recording for a couple of reasons. First, this will be a regular ghost run, and I'll try to get through the mission quite a bit faster this time. Second, I never actually showed you the quote-unquote correct way to do it, which involves bringing the dead body to the Old Bell Tavern and getting the palace key that way, so I'm gonna do that as well. That said, I'll still treat this like any other run, so I'll still read everything and explain what I'm doing, and if you've seen my Supreme run and don't feel like watching me repeat a lot of the same things here again, that's totally fair. If you're here to stay though, I hope you'll enjoy it, so let's begin, and let's read the briefing. After the conclusion to the Downlock affair, I decided to take a break from regular thieving, lay low and hide until the noise about assassinations and unlawful conspiracies dies down. I spent most of my time in a rented apartment and wasted a lot of my gains on bribes and rebuilding a network of trustworthy contacts. It wasn't enough. One night on my way back home, there was a thud of heavy footsteps, and suddenly armed men were coming from all directions. It was clear these boys meant business and were out to kill. I ran. Only later the next day could I piece together the picture from contacts and keep in an open ear. The men were coming from Darksmoke district, wedged between the plazas of Stone Market and furnaces below Craig's Cleft, and ruled by one Lady Azamlarg, a stern judge and reputedly a bit of a collector. How she found out about my doings is a mystery, but judging by the force she sent to take me in, she must have a high opinion of my capabilities. After the Downlock job, the last thing I want is more attention, so an assassination is right out of the question. I need something more discreet, just a warning. It is said that Lady Azamlarg has a treasure room in her palace, right next to the courthouse where she hands down her verdicts, and she owns a valuable scepter that may be the perfect target for a bit of burglary. They say no one robs from a thief without suffering the consequences, and who am I to question old wisdom? Breaking into the palace will be no easy task. An associate I have done jobs for, but who has been careful to stay anonymous in our dealings, may have a key to the lower entrance, but he is not surrendering it without me doing him a favor first, and a downright odd one at that. Luckily, he has also provided me with handwritten instructions and a map of the district streets and waterways. I will enter at Trundle Street to the north, where it is hopefully easy to stay out of sight until nightfall, and start from there. To send Lady Azamlarg a stronger message, I will also be picking up some valuables from her palace, and if that proves inadequate, there is always the neighborhood. Okay. Lady Azamlarg may have sent her best to kill you, but it is time to prove even her best are no match for your abilities. Break into her palace and steal her jeweled scepter. Better teach the lady how real thievery is done. No less than 2400 loot will suffice for the wrongs you suffered. You are already a wanted man, better not make it worse by killing innocents. It will not serve your cause to kill an influential aristocrat. Let Lady Azamlarg live, so she may learn not to cross you again. Once you have accomplished your tasks, leave Darksmoke district the way you came. So we don't really need anything from the loadout screen here. I will buy the tip, just to read it. Someone may have information on a valuable treasure hidden in Darksmoke district. And a couple of moss arrows could come in handy, I guess, but I'm not planning on using any, so let's just begin. Let's make a real save. Before we check the map, let's read the two documents we have. The tip. Garrett, here's one for you. Most of the wealthy households in Darksmoke are too well guarded to just break in, but there might be an exception. The Beauregards, who once owned much of Stone Market, have fallen on hard times, and there is now only the master and his wife, both old and hard of hearing. No guards, and only a servant girl, who I know will be out for tonight. There is said to be some relic Mr. Beauregard is protecting on the top floor, something from the time he wasn't as pious as he is now. You've got to watch out for the old guy, since he has a mean temper, but with your abilities, it should be a snap. And instructions. Garrett, in recognition of previous favors, I may be able to assist you in this matter, if you are first willing to help me with a small prank I have in my mind. A mutual acquaintance whom I worked with before, Issin the Exchanger, was recently found guilty on count of thievery by the lady, and he is now hanging by the neck on the gallows at Widow's Way, in the lower Darksmoke area. I want you to steal his body and carry him to the cellar of the Old Bell Tavern, as a present to someone who will appreciate the joke. Mind you, the patrols tonight will be out in force, and it is unlikely the bartender and the bouncers would be happy to see you with a burden. Lay Issin down to sleep in a conspicuous location. It'll make the point. After you have done this, meet me at the statue of Saint Tenor next to the tavern, and I will have the key ready. Forget not that Tenor's Plaza and Widow's are both heavily patrolled, and also that bowmen have been posted on the parapets to watch out for unlawful interlopers. The lady will, in all likelihood, be alone in her quarters, and yet do not underestimate her, for she is quick of wits and formidable with a blade. Okay. So we start here, in Trundle Street, and the tip refers to Beauregard Estate, which will be pretty much the first building we hit in the mission. And our contact wants us to steal the body from Widow's Way on the opposite side of the map, and bring it all the way to the Old Bell Tavern right here. It'll grant us access to the key, which we can use to enter the palace grounds this way, and this will be my first real goal in the mission.
Hello? Is someone there?
I wanna rope up to this building, but before that, let's read some posted notes. By the decree of the Lady Azamlarg, Warden of Darksmoke, let it be known that no man or woman, nor any child of outside residence, is to set foot on the streets of Darksmoke after the 11th toll and before cock's crow, unless by the lady's personal consent. Those who are in violation of her ladyship's orders shall taste the whip. Let it be known that tithe on wool, lead, wax, oil, and leather shall now be 2 coppers for the measure. A tithe on glass, ambigline, and white clay shall be 1 good silver. Peddling outside the Darksmoke market shall be treated as theft of her ladyship's own due. Let it be known that the trial of the infamous Plinth is set for the 2nd toll of Morn's Day, on the 10th of Recidivus in the year 832. The miscreant is to be judged by her ladyship, and thereafter delivered to whichever fate she selects. Afterwards, the honest folk of Darksmoke may approach her ladyship and ask for justice in their miscellaneous squabbles, etc., as it is customary. The beggars of Darksmoke, if in possession of a letter of alms, are permitted to attend, if they ply their ancient trade with the appropriate discretion. Let it be known that her ladyship and her guards are on the lookout for the thief Garrett, formerly known by the false names of Talbot, Messer Johannes, Philby, and no doubt numerous others. Garrett is of nondescript appearance, below average in height, and fond of dull grey clothing. He is wanted for the murder of a wealthy patrician in Downlock district, participation in pagan conspiracy, the subversion of public order, and several counts of theft. The Lady Azamlarg offers 400 pieces of gold to whoever would bring her definite proof of this miscreant's demise, or 100 pieces of gold for accurate information of his whereabouts. Let it also be known that whoever aids or shelters this devious fugitive shall perish like a criminal. Okay, that's the front door to Beauregard Estate. It's locked and unpickable, so we have to look for another way in. And we're gonna continue this way pretty soon. Before that, though, there are a couple things to pick up here. 3 coins on the windowsill. Over here is a lever that'll grant us access to Beauregard Estate. Here is the key to the front door, which I showed you. We don't need that. In the chapel, there is a book. And then, turning his attention on the 3rd question, he said, "In truth, the treasures are a metaphor. Gold and jewels are not given to thee by the builder, although neither does he shun them, if they be acquired by honest pursuits. The treasures of the builder are the spiritual foundations of thy work. Father Dennis contemplated what was said, and at last responded, If such treasures are in our grasp, what could assail this foundation? Let us, my brothers, build a great cathedral in the builder's measures and fair materials, to stand testament to man's ingenuity and his ascent from the deceptions of the trickster. One of the brothers, the youngest of the initiates, however, warned, Let us not begin this work, for I see a forest of hardship before us, and that forest twists and pitfalls are legion. But Father Dennis rose again, saying, In truth, such may be, but for every tree there is an axe, and for every doubter just punishment. Then was the brother carried away to the courtyard, where the weight of a staff was set on his back 30-fold. And the other brothers raised stone on stone, with good mortar and sturdy hammer, and the great cathedral of the order was built. And the doubting brother, who carried the stones for his brethren, at last said, Such was my folly when I was young, but where am I to go now that the work is finished and I am old and grey? And his brothers said, Thou shalt go before the builder, as all men do. The Father had set a harsh task for thee, but in secret did he say to us that by the measure of thine atonement virtue was born. And then they buried his frame in rich vestments, and he became the first saint of the order. Hemerite Compendium of Precepts, Regiments and Rules of Conduct, Volume 13, Volume 7. Vigilance is thy shield, or the Compendium of Righteousness. The ways of sin and how the righteous should combat it. Okay, looks like these guys are pretty devout to the builder. In the bedroom there is Lady Beauregard and a gold goblet. And on the top floor, there is Messa Beauregard himself. Let's actually make a real save here. Okay, good timing. Messa Beauregard always turns right here, at least in my experience, so we can bypass him easily like that. And we have to pick this lock. It takes a while, but we should be able to get it before he comes back. And here is what he has guarded, a torque. Grabbing that will activate a bunch of traps, but if you close the door, he shouldn't hear anything. Out on the ledge here is a vase, total 340, and we could continue this way. We can hop over to the courthouse, then enter the Mercantile Guild. I'm not gonna do that right now. As I said, I wanna continue through the watch station and then down the falls, because that's the fastest way to get to the gallows, where Issin's body is found.
Would have sworn I saw something. Should have known. Nothing could get in here.
Okay, here is the watch station.
I don't like this place at all. It's just a bunch of people walking around.
We can't use that door, because there is a guard looking directly at it, and he never moves, but we can use that vent. We're gonna get the first alert here, but if we're fast enough...
Look, over there.
We can avoid alerting him any further.
Nothing there now.
Here is a purse.
Oh, jeez, I gotta get home. The dinner is waiting and I'm starving. I haven't eaten since breakfast.
Let's read this. Guard's message. Jericho, I have gotten word that the Wolves' leg breakers are once more encroaching on lower Darksmoke. Might be just rumors, but one thing is sure. The lady will not tolerate a low-reach incursion into Darksmoke now or ever, and it is our promotion on the line. I will have my men watch the poorhouse and the small dive near the gallows for the time being. You should ask around the shops and houses upsides if there has been anything out of the ordinary. There is also that guy, Gregory, guarding the warehouses by Luxman Gate. He might have seen something from his overlook. Nothing better to do than watch the canal anyhow. It's better if you talk to him. He seems to resent me for some reason. But he's been weird ever since he's been out of the force, so who knows. Old comrades fade away and become strangers. That's our lot. And the guard patrolling this corridor also has a purse. Here we go, total 390. That's everything in the watch station.
Hello? Is someone there?
We have to continue through that building, but before that, I want to take a small detour. By roping up here. Oops. Gotta be wary of the archer. As you know, archers in Melan's missions are very sensitive. And here is the courtyard that's right next to Trundle Street. So we actually can return to where we started the mission by opening this gate. I'm not gonna have to do that in this run, but it can be a nice shortcut. And back here is another courtyard, where we can visit an old friend. The fools! They thought they could just ignore me, ignore the coming of the future. How blind they are, like sheep. To think they do not realize how my crates could change their lives, a crate in every house and every room. But as sheep, they are not just blind, they are soft, haha. I visited Provost Storno to talk reason to him, but he refused to listen. He wanted to call someone to restrain me. What a fool. To think he could just silence progress. His money was mine, and I could use it all to further my craft. I also got myself a sword and a few tools to gain more funding. Now they acquiesced, all of them I visited, one way or another. And with that, there are now 2 beauties in this apartment. They are safe here. Now that a new crate is finished, and there are also so many small ones, it is time for a new and even greater endeavor. Oh yeah, a new beginning. Good to see the crazy crate guy is doing well. Under his desk is a switch, which gives us access to 3 pieces of loot here. And we can also rope up here. bottle of wine and a goblet here, total 555. And that's everything in this courtyard. Now to get back down safely, drop onto this chain, then onto the vines, and you should be good. Getting back down here can be a little finicky. Most consistent way I found is to simply walk forward here, and you should be able to grab the chain on your way down. Now we can enter this building, which is Eventrar Estate. 4 pieces of loot on the table, and a letter to Lord Bafford. Dear Lord Bafford, most endearing that you have written me. It must be a rare condition indeed that has afflicted you. There are but a few small issues I wish to clear, which I believe to deserve your most illustrious attention. First, to talk of our encounter as foreordained is perhaps a trifle too melodramatic. As my maid tells me, you are rumored to be a constant presence in the pubs and bordellos of the lower districts, and indeed, as the way from those haunts to your home leads right under my windows, it might be that we saw each other by pure chance. Some additional remarks. The flowers that have grown in your garden under the pale moonlight, I note, are available in identical form on the market for 2 coppers, so there is indeed no need to bother. Regarding your fiery burning for me, I hear this fire has seen many before, and as for the heavenly quiet descending upon you when you saw me, you could have at least managed a stammer in lieu of leering most fixedly at my bosom. Nay, Lord Bafford, I see your intentions, and have no wish whatsoever to oblige them. Yours, Lady Elisay Eventrar. There is also a readable in this chest. A scented letter. Beloved sister, in time do the wounds heal and the ill feelings depart. I know you have reason to find me repellent for my past actions, but we are still of one blood. And now have I for you good news, maybe the best news. With the fall my flowers have flowered as never before, and now I know whose arrival they herald. It is her, returned to our bare and cursed lands, to take her own and fill them with mirth and plenty. Look you towards your tasks, for the time foretold is upon us, Marcella. I guess these two worship some kind of a deity, maybe? Okay, in this building there are 2 vases up on the gargoyles. No need to worry about making noise here, there is no one around who can hear you. You can continue down here. Down here is Bailiff Street. Not gonna have to go down there at any point in this run. Instead, let's hop over to this building and access the attic here. Inside are 3 pieces of loot and a letter to a thief. Builder blessed the old fellow. Nay, I have not perished, for the builder looks everywhere, but he looketh not among his own, even when they have problems with the fancy talk. In any event, here is something that may interest you. One of the old vipers, when not scheming against everyone else in the cloister, likes to spin wild tales. One is about your present place, or something close by. It seems a servant in a warehouse near the old Hammer Temple had dark designs on his mind, killed some, and hid their corpses. Now it turns out he was found and broken, the warehouse sealed, but his shade lingers in secret passages and broods on sins that cannot be forgiven. Hope you can sleep easier now, eh, Taffer? By and by, you are not faint of heart yourself to operate from right under the eyes of Our Lady, who has sent so many of us to the gibbet, bless her little heart. If you catch her alone outside her palace, don't forget to say hello on behalf of yours truly as well. You know who. So it looks like this was written by someone who used to be a criminal but is now a member of the Hammerites. Which is kind of interesting. And to get back, have to land on this chain and continue through here. He sees me all the way over here.
Seems peaceful enough now.
Over here is a vase, total 1020. Let's wait for this archer. Two spice bags here, total 1100, and let me
No,
show you
it's
something
stopped.
real quick. Down here is a pickable door leading to Bailiff Street, and here is the way into the palace I took in my Supreme run, which was intended by the author. He made this fine climbable, and you can hop over the fence here and land either in the water or you can catch something on your way down. And that's the palace grounds. But like I said, I'm gonna show you a different way in this run. Over here is a door that we can pick. And inside is a spider. And this leads to an elevator shaft. For now, just keep this in mind. I'll show you this elevator shaft from the bottom as well. I don't actually need to go here. And this way, we can enter the Brocious estate. The only part of the Brocious estate available to us is a stairwell. Kinda always wanted to explore more of this house. And now we're basically in lower Darksmoke already. First,
What I see
let's
there?
rope up here. Here we have a thief. He checks that door every once in a while, and if he notices it unlocked, he is gonna run inside and station himself in there. So I'm gonna wait for him to check it, then I'm gonna pick it open, grab everything from inside, then I don't have to worry about him.
Huh? What was that?
Right? 3 pieces of loot, and a barely legible note. Here is what I can had day's time. I will can have more, just lets me lives and works. The lady watches from her homes, knows all folk, and she knows me for takerin. She will ask, Jeans, there is take you man's purse, and now you hands by the neck. Then I will hand, but will I hand, will you hand me sides?
Thought I saw something. Noise stopped. Guess it was nothing.
Okay, it can be a little tricky to attach to this ladder for some reason. So just save before doing that. The guard over here we don't have to worry about. The archer, on the other hand, we do have to worry about. He also has a purse.
No one walks here now.
Let's see, okay. Think I can get by this guy. Give generously for the builder's plan. And over here, let's lockpick this door.
And the builder said,
So the archer can definitely see us up here.
"Whale and natural teeth. You ask us to report
It seems quiet enough now. 'Tis well.
Over here, we can get 2 coin stacks for a total of 1270. If you don't want to pick that lock, you can plant a rope arrow into the wooden frame. And if you want to see how to do that, I showed it in my Supreme Ghost run. It's pretty finicky though. And picking this lock is the intended way. And here is Issin. So before I actually grab his body and start carrying it to the old bell, I wanna clear out this entire area. So let's make a real save here. Over here, you can break into a shop. And inside is a purse, coin stack in a money box. Tarnished key, which we're gonna use later, and a scrap of paper. Hey Gil, look what I found in the canal. There was some commotion up the stream, and the watchdogs fished out a dead old teffer who got swept down to the gate and was too deep in the drink by the time they got him out. This old key fell out his clothes when they took the corpse. We should ask around discreet who it was and where he was living. Might make a few coins with this old thing. Also, you tougher, I told you not to leave your cash box out on the table just like that. That's practically an invitation for any lockbreak on the prowl, and then you can run to the watch with that. Only reason I'm not doing it myself is I'm too nice for this city. Right, we're gonna find that person they are writing about a little later. Up the ladder here, we can access the poorhouse. There should be a thief inside. Don't know where he is. Oh, he's right here. There is nothing of value on the top floor here, but there is a readable in this room. Crumpled up letter. Darcy says they dragged the lad to Lowridge despite his protestations, and nobody dared even look at them. May say what you will, but anything the lady does to clean up dark smoke, she can't clean it all. How could she know the city from that fancy place? And if she looked too long at the wall look right back, and then she will be dragged to Lowridge all the same. You are a good catch, and I know you don't like to beg and steal to stay in this place, but believe me, you have a better lot than the poor wretches in the hollow pits, the ones who don't pay up. I saw a man steal away from the stone entrance one dawn, and they caught him right in the next street. He was whimpering when I dragged him back. One blackleg caught him by the neck and slammed his head against the grates just because he could. Never saw that one again. So I say not a word, or they will break you like they broke the boy. That's just how it is in this place. And you can also get out onto the metal beam here and cross over to the warehouses, but I'm gonna get there a little later. So for now, let's just wait for that thief to go back, and we can pick a lock at the end of this corridor. In here are 4 pieces of loot, total 1320. This window is too small for us to get through. And that's it for the poorhouse. Now, on the very edge here, you're actually completely dark, so you can use that to your advantage. Now, before we grab Issin, There are just 3 more pieces of loot to get. In a window up here are 3 coin stacks. Total 1440. I can hear the Hammerite archer, so he must be on his way here. And the other archer is here as well. Let's wait for both of them to go away. Alright, we should be good here. So you are dark on the edge here, except for this spot. For whatever reason you're really exposed there, and it actually got me caught on my practice run. So be careful around there.
I'm bored. 8 hours.
That door I'm gonna unlock a little later. This building is condemned. Do not attempt to enter. Well, we will enter it. Pretty soon, actually. Now, there should be an archer somewhere around here. Okay, there he is. So we're practically at the old bell already. So bringing Issin all the way here is not a problem, but getting into the tavern itself might just be the most difficult move in the entire mission.
Nothing there now.
There is a total of 5 AIs we gotta worry about here. There are 2 archers and a swordsman outside the tavern, and there is another guard and the bartender inside. The bomb here is the only one who doesn't alert to us. But everyone else does. So the first thing I wanna do is actually wait for that guy to go away, because trying to slip into the tavern with him around is extremely risky. I'm not sure where the swordsman is. He must be on his way here. Maybe I'm gonna have a chance right here.
Thought I saw something. Thought I saw something.
Okay, he definitely saw me right there. Let's wait just 1 second here. There we go. We should be safe on these stairs. Even when that guy passes here, he shouldn't notice us.
I think I deserve a pat on the back for that one.
There we go. So there is a door here that's locked and unpickable. I'll show it to you from the other side. And that door is pickable, but it leads right back to the bar, so we don't ever have to use that. And the bouncer, as the instructions referred to him, has a purse. Let's grab that.
That sounded funny.
And this says no credit.
Oh well. Must have nothing.
Right, so now there is a key here and a message. Well done, thief. I'm sure you understand why I didn't hang around to see you in person. This is not that night. Still, a bargain is a bargain, and here is the key you have been looking for. Coincidentally, the door is right there in the alley to the right, and it leads straight to the palace grounds. I hope you have a rope ready, but in the unlikely event you have none, you may want to visit a small shop close to the gallows. I have heard they might keep that sort of merchandise. And the plaque here says, "Here did Saint Tenor drive the spike into the rock and preach the sermon of the master builder to the thief." So if we head up this alley, we can access the palace grounds. But before I do that, I want to take a small detour and explore the old steel mill and the warehouses. This actually calls for another real save. Now I'm not sure if this is part of the old steel mill or the warehouse, but down here is what's definitely part of the warehouse. I have a guard in here who I actually wanna get rid of for the moment.
Hello?
Let me show you where we are. This is right across the poorhouse. So we're right above here. In the footlocker, there is something interesting. A dead Hammerite priest. And the scroll here explains what's going on. Gregory, I will send a skiff just below your place tomorrow to move the special cargo. Until then, stay put for your sake and for my sake as well. This is way too big, completely over our heads. You know what they do to anyone who does this. Azamlarg's gallows or Craig's left would be nothing in comparison. We just didn't think it through, and they will be all over it in a few days. Just act natural, and for heaven's sake, don't drop a hint of what we did. Okay. And the only thing of value here is a gold hammer, which presumably belonged to that priest.
Quiet. 'Cause I don't know.
And here we can get into what I assume is the condemned part of the building. Can drop into the water right here. More of a crystal chunk. Here's another vent. Some buttons are missing here, so we can only go up. And this door is locked and unpickable, so now we have to go down. Here is a key found far underground. This unlocks the door at the very top. Now that skull has 2 rubies in his eyes, which are very valuable. When you get close, he's gonna start shooting fireballs at you, but if you stick to the left here, he's gonna miss every shot. And once you take the rubies, he's not gonna shoot anymore. This grate we can actually just take. Down here is another vent, which leads to the ledge of the warehouse. I don't actually have to go here. Let's wait for this guy, because he can see me all the way up here. Not sure where the other archer is, but let's try it. Okay, I'm gonna go this way a little later. For now, let's rope down here. This jump can be a little tricky. What you wanna do is get past the waterfall, don't try to jump from inside the waterfall, because that won't work. But from here it's very easy. This door is pickable, but it also responds to the tarnished key. And this way we can get to the elevator shaft I showed you earlier. If we go up here, we'll get to that room with the big spider. I don't need to go there, but I do want to go here. In this room we have the world's most devious puzzle, a solution to which is not to try it. And above the bed is a purse and a lever. And underneath the bed is a lockbox that responds to the tarnished key. And this reveals a keeper sanctuary. There is an invisible keeper down below. He doesn't alert to us, so no need to worry about him. Here is a valuable book and a couple of readables. On the hidden doctrines. In the previous chapters, we have discussed the approaches to maintaining and perpetuating the secrecy that shields us from material destruction. Yet this is only a barrier before external threats, not spiritual or ethical contamination. The lessons we learn so hard, and whose costs ever haunt us in locations that will not be named here, so that, even among us, they should fall before silence and forgetfulness, are also lessons for times that are yet to arrive. It is the reason why the pursuit of truth will not be straightforward, lest its burden fall too hard upon one man, or give rise to destructive ambitions. It shall be divided into parts encloaked in falsehood and manifold contradictions. This will likewise divide and confound the avid seekers, those whose desire in our order is not self-perpetuation, but a mutation of our purpose towards other, even if more altruistic ends. These are then the hidden doctrines. To encourage balance is to encourage dissent, to foment doubt among the ranks of those whose lust for truth eclipses their lust for self-discipline. To this end, contradictions have been placed among the teachings, false books among the tomes of knowledge. There are now lies within every bookshelf, and a forest of misdirection rises in every library. There are those who say this is a malicious threat from within, a ploy to render the order infirm and impotent, lost in a hall of mirrors and false mirages. Yet is there a sudden and merciless war against those who have been discovered complicit in this matter proof that they themselves always represented a threat to the order, or a sign that the schemers within have indeed succeeded, and keeper kills keeper in his sleep and in dusty passages over what is truth? Have these books worked their nefarious effect? Indeed, it seems that even transparent lies muddle truth, giving rise to sudden doubts. And in the same spirit, my reader, have I always lied to thee. Note, this material has been identified as a false doctrine, and is not for dissemination. No evidence is in support of its thesis, and the events it describes are present in no records. Nevertheless, a request has been submitted to the Higher Council for further clarification. Keeper Gale. This is a fascinating readable, because I've always been interested in corruption within the keepers. Kinda always imagined the keeper order to be rotten from within. And here is another readable. The genealogies of family Pazar. And in the days when men rose against the rule of the trickster, did a man come out of the woods with the others, and his name was Yon. And Yon begat Cam, and he saw 410 moons. And Cam begat Fide, and he saw 305 moons. And Fide came to the place of the great rivers, and he begat Cole and Days, ere he perished at 474 moons. Then Cole slew Days, and was made to break stones in the pit. Yet Cole begat Dome by a woman of the woods, and saw 353 moons. And Dome begat Cuff and Yorick and Bel, seeing only 228 moons. Of the three, only Cuff lived, whereupon he was taken by those who watch. And those who watch said to Cuff, There will yet come a day when your children shall see a great village, and they shall be then called Pazar. And they shall be one of the founders of a line which shall rule, yet not rule. But Cuff believed them not then, and went instead to a place they called Craig's Cleft, and dwelt there. One day Cuff came upon a man, and this man, seeing Cuff, took a sword and said to him, Surely I have found the one I've been looking for. But Cuff was faster, and dashed the man's brow with a stone. Then, fearing greatly for his life, he fled into the hills. When at last he emerged, those who watched told him again, What we have told you is drawing nearer, and it is time you became as us. Note, this fragment, obviously of great antiquity, is nevertheless of no historical worth, and has been marked as a heterodox material. The attempt to reconstruct a hagiographic family history had doubtless been contaminated with material providing a rudimentary hint about our existence, and was removed to this location lest it be discovered by a casual reader, Keeper Gale. This is another interesting readable, because the name Pazar is mentioned in a bunch of Melan's missions, and it's the most obscure piece of lore that connects them all. Here we have handwritten instructions. Keeper Bernard, by order of the Council, you are to leave your former tasks and observe these new instructions to the best of your ability. The previous moves in Downlock were well executed, and your solution to the involvement of the new acolyte, if dangerous, was appropriate. Concerning the matter of Azamlarg, you also did well. Her attention is now fully on the perceived threat, giving us time to consolidate our efforts in the lower locks. Nevertheless, she is intelligent and dangerous, and her nightly activities may bring her even closer to our designs. Indeed, it might well be that she already suspects our existence. Watch her closely, but do not move yet, unless a direct threat arises. Instead, your attention must be turned to Webster. His desire to be warden of the lower locks is well known, but in this situation, Reputa could also have a say in the matter. It would be best if the affair was resolved to the benefit of neither party, and both would be severely compromised. The council suggests that the discord among the criminal element might be the key to ultimate success. Signed, Keeper Nicholas. 2 gold candlesticks here, total 2250. That's it for this place. Now, there is a way to get over to that book and read it, and even to get down. There is an Easter egg down there, but I'll leave that for you to discover on your own. Okay, let's get back. Now we can hop over here. And lockpick this door. So I hear the archer on the other side. Alright, it's time to hit the palace. No trespassing upon the Lady Azamlarg's orders. Deliver messages and supplies to upper entrance. So this door responds to the palace key. We can also rope up here, and there is another door that responds to the same key, but both will take you to the same courtyard, which is right here. Here's the Dead Keeper. We read about him before. He's the former owner of the Tarnished Key. And up here we can rope up to the palace. Goblet and 3 plates here. The sound propagation inside the palace is not ideal. can't go that way. That door responds to the palace grounds key and leads back outside. That key we're gonna get in this room. Let me actually get rid of her and show you a couple things here. First are two readables, a report. Most exalted lady, as it was your will, we watched the streets all night, and not a sight of the villain Garrett had crossed our eyes. He walked here not, believe you us. In all, the picking was of no outstanding import. A beggar without a letter, an errant lamplighter crossing the Lamphire Hills, and a tramp who was caught trying to force one of the grates at the falls, but slipped and fell when we hailed him. That was a perplexing one, to have climbed up there without rope and hook. He was dead by the time the boys retrieved his frame, and he has been brought to the yard for your inspection. In any case, his form resembles Garrett not, and no distinct mark nor possessions has he. And a letter from Jacobus Willen. Your ladyship, on account of your most illustrious patronage, we have attempted that which you asked of us. Couriers placed with trustworthy clients in Lamphire Hills and Stone Market have granted us a lead, faint as it is. A young woman of great wealth and apparently aristocratic upbringing is behind the items you speak of. Elemental crystals, narcotic and stimulative substances, as well as curio beyond our usual assortment, have been mentioned. Our further inquiries were frustrated, as our partners were probably afraid of disclosing a new source of merchandise. Nonetheless, we can confirm your suspicions, although, if we may be so bold, we do not suggest a confrontation until further particulars become known. Respectfully at your service, Jacobus Willen, Willen & Associates. Some kind of detective agency, perhaps? This gargoyle up here is probable, and it reveals a secret passage with an elevator that'll take us all the way down to the old bell. Here we can find an escape route key, and there is where we dropped off Issin. So I don't need to go here. Let me grab these two pieces of loot, total 2485, and this checks off our loot goal. Palace grounds key, which I'm gonna use in a little bit. And here is the lady's vault. And there is her scepter. There we go. Main objective done. Now this door can't be closed, which is a little annoying. There is a way to avoid opening it in the first place, and I showed it in my Supreme run. For this playthrough, I'm just gonna leave it open. Up here is a switch that reveals another escape route. Here's a light gem, a tiara, another copy of the escape route key, and a cryptic note. Confirmation of previous query. Definite breach at Keywell Tertiary. Dispersal of counter-influences. Possible breach on Wainwright. Definite breach at various non-operated depositories, and thorough work all over. Obvious relation to the case of T and supposed pagan conspiracy, but can be traced back outside to G's activities. Suggested actions. Keep low profile in direct action for time being. Use decisive force through secondaries against G. Thereafter, common operation in lower locks may proceed to recovery of golden books, and following diversionary action against unlawful elements. Verify through IW and avoid caches for the time being. this must not fall into our own hands, Tanster. So since the last time I played the mission, I kind of figured out this readable a bit more. Having played Bad Debts recently, I'm kind of thinking the T might be Tomlinson, because he was meddling in some pagan stuff. G is obviously Garrett, and IW must be Jacobus Willen. And here is the second escape route. Which takes us to a plaza right here. And we can access a few places from here. First is the bell tower. At the top is a bird nest with a bunch of gems. Total 2740. We can also access the Mercantile Guild from here.
What's that? Who goes? Stop tapping with me.
Didn't make it in time. There are 3 gargoyles here, and each has a torque in its mouth. The easiest way to get up there
What's that?
is to
Who
mantle
goes?
the doors.
All quiet now. Must have been rats.
No need to go any further here. There's nothing of value. There are a couple more pieces of loot in this corridor.
I don't like this place.
There we go, total 2960. And here we can actually get back to the courthouse. And there is the Beauregard estate. So we pretty much looped back to the starting area. But I don't need to get here just yet. One last thing here is a harp on the other side of this plaza. There we go, valuable harp. Total 3060. Now I'm actually gonna get back into the palace, because there is a bit more of Thieves' Highway I wanna explore. There we go. Here is that second door I told you about that responds to the palace key. Now there should be an archer somewhere around here. He must be on the other end of his patrol. And this is actually right above the old bell. Can use the pipe here to cross to the other side. There is the archer. And down here is a balcony that has 2 pieces of loot. Here is a readable. Soon after the golden glow of my happiness did envelop my heart, and foolhardy hopes cloud the vision once impeccable, did I lose all that was worth having. How is it then that joy is but a fleeting glimpse, soon borne away on the winds of disaster? How is it that hopes flee before dark feathers, the bitter omen of things to come? Yet never did I think the glittering treasures would vanish in thin air, as surely as he who was to be mine did depart with another. Fate's cruel caress it is, and yet a final deed is now to be done. closure to this existence of unfulfillment. Now do I cast this unhappy journal out of my window, and with it, a worthless life. A last sip of the wines I enjoyed, so will aid me to sweeten this final downfall. We can rope up here. This must be the wine she was drinking. And here are several coin stacks. Total 3240. And a wine-stained scroll. In honor of the Lady Azamlarg and her most salubrious wines, which the most honorable Benjamin saw fit to provide for this very purpose, we hereby establish the Society of the Tower and the Bell. As of the year 832, month Recidivus, day the 3rd, on this pleasant terrace above the teeming streets of our lovely city. May whoever hold rank in this hallowed color carry himself with pride and distinction, protect the honor of Our Lady even in the face of adversity, and drink of the essences as it is appropriate for a gentleman of elevated station. Absolute secrecy is hereby sworn to confound the knaves and villains who would bring us harm. Of this we swear, the most honorable Dalvins, Grand Master of the Chiming Bell, the most honorable Mungrave, Knight of Wines and Essences, the most honorable Benjamin, Exalted Guardian, the most honorable Tortoise, he of the Mop and Pail, the most honorable Gradbolt, Furnace Feeder and Lord Transportator. Penned by the most honorable Tortoise on behalf of the Society. Okay. And here is a letter that doesn't lead anywhere. And I must have played this mission like a dozen times already, and I always thought its flow was perfect, but on my last couple runs, I kinda had this idea that I wish this fence wasn't here, and it was possible to move through, given that there's a ladder, and it is possible to climb this wall from the other side as well. That's where the escape route is, by the way. I think it might have been possible in an earlier version, but then Melan added a fence here. So maybe there was a reason for it. I'm not sure.
Someone behind me?
Now for my favorite move in the mission, if you simply walk forward here, you can get down to the street and not take any damage.
Seems quiet enough now. Oh well.
When are they going to bring me my dinner? That's what I want to know. When are they?
That tunnel will take us to Bailiff Street, and this is the Mercantile Guild, so the only thing left for us to do is to loot the 4 shops here. Here's the stone cutters. And here are 5 statues. And 2 readables. City Tribune. Mystery burglar, just a legend, solicitor says. Reports of the mysterious criminal, supposedly stuck in the wealthy households of the city, have resurfaced after Mr. Heinstedo brought charges to a trial over insurance payments. His allegations, which provoked uproarious laughter among members of the jury, drew attention to damages of a very unusual nature. In truth, the culprit not only carried off the dinnerware and several valuables from my collection, including a priceless clear silver statue won in the Southern Wars by my dear late Uncle Rufus, but a veritable cartload of comestibles as well. It is not in my character to burden the honorable jury with such trivial nuisances, but the shameless conduct of the accused party makes it an imperative, as a lawful proprietor as well as a gentleman. We are experiencing, indeed, a theft epidemic of epic proportions, and I do not just mean the burglary. The Honorable Seamus A. Blatt, a noted barrister involved in the case on the side of the defendants, was quoted by the Tribune. In no case during my practice have I been witness to similar extraordinary crimes. the common thief is in fact a creature of cowardice and habitual shiftiness, a debased and lowly being. To assume that after risking life and limb in taking lawful property, a criminal would linger to lift victuals from is, to put simply, fantastic beyond my wildest fancies. Pray tell, where did this extraordinary burglar carry such foodstuffs? In his pockets? Or, barring that, does the good Mr. Hines Taddow propose that the culprit in fact consumed 5 heads of cabbage, 6 deer legs, a few pairs of sausages, apples, and a generous supply of carrots? Even an entire expedition of the boldest riffraff would not have such ravenous appetite, and as someone who has observed the lowest sort of street detritus from my window, would put little credence in a nursery tale of similar character. Rumpelball, Stone Market Wayside, 4-0, Downlock Dayport, 1-1, Newmarket Merkbell, cancelled by Cardinal's interdict. And a complaint. Furthermore, and coinciding with these infractions, when I look through the window of your shop to see if you have indeed ceased your intolerable hammering for the day, I spied a lewd, and I am sure illegally produced image, with, I note, a completely bare nipple. This outrageous conduct is in fact not only beyond the accepted standards of public decency, but also a vile assault against my sensibilities. Why to consider that this filth would stand in a shop that is very next to mine, and might, to add insult to injury, bother my valid customers? In fact, the question of indemnification, unless you are too drunk again to understand this, it means money, will have to be... Right. Here we can take a brick out of the wall and grab the alchemist's key. The alchemist's shop has a door that's locked and unpickable, so we need this key to get in. Okay, good timing here. This door is pickable, but the owner uses it from time to time, so we can lock block it and not have to pick it ourselves. Inside, I use a spice bag, total 33.50. In the butcher's, there is nothing, but there is a readable. Another complaint. And it is an outrage that the stench in your shop, and don't deny it, the dreadful stink of spoiled meat must come from your filthy burgs, is driving away the clients I've spent so much of my valuable time and effort together. You with the meat, and the no-good drunkard to my right with the infernal noise, and it is a wonder I'm still in business. You both should take a lesson from that alchemist. Now he doesn't make a noise or assault my nostrils with vile odors. Get this fixed, or I will not go to you, but the courthouse, and I mean it. That greengrocer needs to chill. Right, finally, the alchemist. And in here we have a golden skull. Our last piece of loot, total 3,500.
Yes?
That shadow isn't really a shadow. I didn't know that. Right, let's wait in here then. Now the courthouse guard is easier to bypass than it looks. Even though our light gem was lit here, he doesn't really react to that. Here we can just mantle over. And there we go.
I don't see why I should have to be the one down here in the cold and the dark and the damp.
Right, there we have it. Mission complete in 56 minutes and 13 seconds. Found all the loot, 3500. Picked 3 out of 5 pockets, which is a bug. The mission only has 3 pockets. And picked 11 logs, which you can bring down to 8 if you really want to. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Next, I'm gonna play Rose Garden, which is a much bigger and more complicated mission, so it might take me a bit longer to prep for it and record it, but I'm already looking forward to that. So, see you guys when I see you, and take care for now.